Hello everybody, welcome to A Sprinkle of Riss. This is my segment, A Conversation About God. Today I want to talk to you about putting God first and not being shameful about it. This has been a great journey for me. Of course, we're on a journey all throughout our lifetime, but specifically within the last year is when I really asked God to come into my life and to rescue me from the internal struggle that I was having based on my outside world. I can sit here before you and say that I'm thoroughly proud of myself. And I'm proud of the woman that I'm becoming. And I think just inviting this relationship with God was like the cherry on top of it all. And I can say that I'm like walking faithfully in my purpose instead of wandering idly in just passions that weren't really, fulfilling me spiritually or even worldly, to be honest, So, yes, putting God first. So something that I'm doing for this year is starting the year off right. I'm actually every month I've chosen to dedicate 30 days to learning a new skill or learning more about it. Things that I've always wanted to do or that I'm passionate about. So I'm like, let me dedicate 1 hour each day for 30 days to each of these things. Still writing in some of the skills I've chosen for the later months. But for this first month, I put God. I put the Bible. That is my 30-day study. And I'm going to continue reading the Bible and studying God and being close with him. But these first 30 days, I needed to put God first because I'm like, why not? Why wouldn't you want the Lord to be able to go before you and see things that you can't see and prepare the table for you before you go anywhere, So I was like, yes, this is something that I need to do. And it's been going very well. Every day I wake up and I pray. And I usually put the studying of the Bible in my first part of the day. So I wake up and pray, have tea. I like to fast while I'm reading the Bible. So I don't really make me anything to eat, but I'll make me a beverage to drink. And it's really been well. I've been learning a lot. I've been seeing the power of God that's been there since the beginning. And it's been very eye-opening. And being steadfast in that is just like, it's just heart-opening as well. Just to the power of God and his love for us that's always been there and his guidance. So that just goes along with putting God first because he was here first. And so many times we try to be all about ourselves or think we have everything figured out or try to figure it out on our own. But why? Why would you want to put yourself through that kind of struggle? So something that I've been attaching to my post about this new segment is non-perfect Christian, but a perfect God. Because in this walk of faith and actually claiming it to be something, publicly too, God has allowed me to recognize that without him, things will not work. They may happen, but they won't be sustained. Not for longevity, not the kind that you really want to see. And I'm just learning that when I pair him with everything that I do and all the lessons that I learn, it just reveals so much more truth than anything else can. So it's hard to even comprehend just how amazing God is because you can never fully comprehend it. You'll never fully comprehend his word because there's always something there for you to learn and pay more attention to. So putting him first has just allowed me to see that I need to pull back on myself and allow more of him to come forth so that I can really be guided. And what I was intentionally going to say is that, I am not perfect. None of us are. There is no such thing as a perfect Christian or a perfect human. So that relieved a lot of pressure because when you are going through that change of coming back to God and allowing him in your life, into your heart, people will look at you and they'll say, oh, you've changed. Oh, you changed. Oh, I can't be around you. Them people, baby, was probably not meant to be there in the first place. So good riddance. When I came back into this life with Christ, I told my friends about it. I told my parents. I told my siblings. And guess what? They still love me anyway. They still love the spirit that I am. And that allowed me to also, it was very comforting because it allowed me to not be shameful. Yeah, it was a little tough having some conversations, but I knew that it was for the greater good. So I'm like, it's gonna work out. Like, you have tough moments, but you have to press on and allow space for God to be able to handle things. Some things are not meant for you to handle or understand. Just speak what he's telling you to speak or what you feel in your heart, and leave room for him to create the peace within it. So that was really a blessing to have, and it felt lonely for a while, this walk with faith, because it is an individual relationship with you and God, with you and Jesus. And that's something that I had to get through. And then I was reminded that, you want a community of believers too, that you can express these thoughts to, and they can reassure you that you're doing the right thing. Yeah, it gets lonely sometimes, but you were born by yourself. And even for the twins, y'all ain't coming at the same time. Y'all got different birth times on their birth certificates, so don't play. Putting God first allows you to be confident. A confidence that no one can take away. People call it Godfidence, because God is there. He'll be there when you leave, before you arrive. He'll be right there by your side and within. He's always there. For people who deal with the loneliness and the depression of, no one understands me, know that God does. And when you come to him, you can talk to him about anything. You don't have to be perfect. You can come to him if you're drunk, after you done cussed your mom out or something, anything crazy, you can still come to him because he was there anyways. He's seen it. He heard it. You can't lie to him. You can't run. You can't hide. And that's how I used to feel a lot. Like I had to hide from God. And that was just such a shameful feeling to feel. Until I started realizing that I would be shameful to speak about God and how good he is to me in my life. And that felt even worse. Because I should never be shameful about the spirit that created me. It's because of him that I'm here, that I'm still here, that you're still here watching this video. So that was amazing to finally understand, I don't have nothing to be ashamed of. God is my role model. I look to God for things, not people. I'm not your role model. So I don't need approval from anybody to love God and know that he loves me, no matter what I do. Now, that's not an excuse to just do anything and be like, God love me anyways. Yeah, well, God will also chastise you. And people, if you don't know what chastise means, that basically means disciplining you. You know how things come back around and hit you too harder because of the things that you've done? Yeah, that's God. But there is relief in knowing that there is forgiveness in it. And because God can forgive you, you got to know that you can forgive yourself. And you can forgive other people. And I know I'm straying away from putting God first, but this all goes together because all good things work for the greater good of his purpose. So yeah, first 30 days, 31 days of the year, studying the Bible for an hour each day, reading different stories of how God truly works, yesterday, today, and forevermore. And I'm really loving it. I really am. It's very peaceful for me. And it's guided me because I know after these 31 days, you thought I was a force to be reckoned with now. But baby, wait till that strength really come through. And that knowledge, that wisdom, and that love, and the kindness, and the courage, and the bravery, thanks to God. So that's putting him first. Closing with the not being shameful. I'm speaking to the people who want to have a relationship with God but are a little afraid to publicly like speak about it or talk about it, or even if you don't want to do it in public, it's just like you try to tiptoe around because you don't want people looking at you differently, or you don't want to leave those different friend groups that aren't really for you anyways, and things like that. But even when you do come back to Christ, like, you're still you. You may not want to change like your behaviors with like cussing and things like that, and drinking and all that, but the more you get closer with God, the more you're becoming like him. So you're not really going to want to do all those things anyways eventually. And yeah, maybe you're thinking, it's fun, I like it, there's pleasure in it, it's really a facade, I'm just letting you know. And I'm telling you, as an adult, even as a kid, it's a lot more fun on this side, because knowing the right decisions to make and God telling you the promises that will come from them, and they are true, and you really know what to do in your day-to-day life because you're guided and you're listening to that guidance, I promise you it's more fun on this side. This is the fun side. Remember on Madagascar, I said, can we go to the fun side now? Oh yeah, we've arrived. But yes, don't be shameful. If you love God, tell about it. If you want to claim yourself as a Christian, tell about it. I'm telling you, and this will go into a different webisode, but God don't really care about the color of your skin, your origin of, where you're trying to battle, of where you're from for real, or who's the chosen people. He don't really care about that. He cares about your individual relationship with him. So whether you call him Jesus or Yahweh, he just cares that you love him and that you put him before everything. That's the real message. So, yes, that was my conversation today about God that I had with myself first and with him, but I need to bring it to you all. So I pray that you receive this well and take it into account, because as much as we want to think that everything is about us and that we need to put ourselves first and the self, you really need to be putting God first. And guess what? He's within you. That's all there is to it. The more you put him first, the more he will take care of you. And the more you will allow yourself to be taken care of by him. Nobody can do it better. So yeah, this has been a conversation of God with a little sprinkle of Riss in there. I think we make a great team. And he will never forsake me or you. I will talk to you later.